Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome
Yeah.
back. We got Bring the Heat.
What up?
We're back in it for another week at least. Man, how you guys doing?
Doing good, doing good.
We
Bashar?
survived to see another
Fired
day.
up.
Yeah, we survived to see another day, so I'm excited to play these Detroit Lions. And everybody thinks we're going to lose, apparently, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Go figure. From the way people are talking, you would think that, there's no reason for the 49ers or the Kansas City Chiefs to even show up to these games because the Ravens and the Lions, they already have it on lock.
Yeah. Yeah. That is kind of how it is. We got Ryan Clark out there talking all that noise. You've got, though, I didn't put this on topics, but let's talk about this real quick. Pat McAfee went hard in the paint for Brock Purdy today on his show. Who does anybody got any strong feelings on that they'd like to talk about?
I'm glad he did it. Somebody had to step and do it. I can't remember every little thing he said, but he just made pretty much everything he said. I agree with
everything we've said. Everything, the stats that he was pointing out was all the same stats we've been toting the whole time. When they're like, "Oh, he's a check down king," it's like, well, what about he's got the farthest air yard targeted yards.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Seem to forget about that.
In a second, if you don't mind, I can share a picture that you guys know who Rita Oak is, right? The girl that was driving up, that was drawing those Jimmy G cartoons or whatever. She had a really, really nice one that I can share for you guys really quick in relation to what we're talking about. I thought it was probably the best thing she's done in a long, long time, in my personal opinion. If you guys want to look at it really quick, can you bring that up, Ryan, really quick?
Yeah.
Not sure who she drew out, but it says NFL analysts don't watch tape, and underneath it says "Change my mind."
Oh, that's
funny.
That's what's his name? That's
Debo. That's Debo.
Is Debo okay
in the picture?
No, but
right there, yeah.
Okay, but that little setup right there, that's Steven Crowder. He goes
Crowder.
to like
Crowder.
I'm
surprised you guys both knew who that is.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, that thing, they use that for everything. There's so many different memes and shit with that picture.
But that was a really thoughtful drawing that she put together.
She's
Miriah,
good.
did you have any thoughts on this?
I mean, it's nice to have at least, there's a couple people sticking up for Brock Purdy in what seems like the entire national media is against him. So it's nice to have, him. I know Richard Sherman, there's a couple people out there that are going hard for Purdy, but besides that, it seems like everybody else is out to get him for some weird reason. It just doesn't make sense because last year it was like people was like, oh, the last pick of the draft, this is an awesome story. And it seemed like people were all on board, right? And now all of a sudden, like, people like are doing everything they can to talk about the kid. It's like the stupidest shit too. Oh, he's being compared to, Mahomes and, Josh Allen and shit. It's like, you guys forget that this is just his second year in the league. These guys have been in the league 7-8 years, and like he's being crucified. And it's just, it's very crazy. It's very odd how things just completely flip in the media.
Rich Keltz had a tweet today where he kind of put two plays, I believe, side by or above each other, and it really showed one point that I put underneath there is like, not only are the windows that he's been throwing into for the receiver to catch it just kind of crazy at times this year, but if you look, his arm getting through without getting hit or this and that, and it's all last second. It's just as last second as that, like the Brandon Ayuk throw, like catch when he's falling to the ground there in that Green Bay. I didn't know he caught that. I thought if you know how nasty that looks from the end zone look. I watched the Johnny Dell and the all 22 from the end zone look. That's just freaking bang bang. Like, how did that happen? How did that happen? So
it's like, yeah, I think we can all admit that obviously that wasn't Purdy's best game, right? And if
Right.
anybody was going into that game with the conditions, knowing what we know from what we've seen in the past, like I wasn't expecting Purdy to have a wonderful game. Like I wish that Shanahan would have ran the ball more. I was expecting, CMC and Elijah Mitchell to get some carries, like them
It
to
was
do more on the
Debo.
ground. But why we asked our quarterback to drop back and throw 38, 30, whatever plus times in the rain, when we know that he struggles, you've seen him go from a glove to no glove to a glove to no glove. He's literally wiping his hand off in between, before he throws the ball on his ass. It's like, what?
So,
And yet,
so
I don't know. It's crazy.
did you see Kittle talk to talk to
Sherman? He was on with Sherman, right?
No, he was on with Pat McAfee. He might
Oh,
have been on with
McAfee,
Sherman.
my bad.
But so what I seen on McAfee was he was saying he alluded to the fact that there might have been a lot of what they called hezzy plays, where hezzy is where the H and the Z switch places, which is Debo and Christian McCaffrey. So when Debo goes out early in the game, all those hezzy plays, who do you put in the other spot who can take and you can't? So I think
that hurt losing Debo for sure.
Kittle also said he expected Debo to get 3 touchdowns and 300 yards. Now we don't expect
300
all
yards.
the 300 yards. So I think there was going to be a run game that was going to be a nasty run game with Debo.
Yeah, they said the game plan was heavily favoring Debo. So to lose him, and then we've seen like what a mess with freaking Ray trying to figure the shit out. Jennings that in the backfield play because that was supposed to be a Debo play, and it's just like we've seen what a mess. Ray's running the wrong route, going the opposite direction than he's supposed to. And it's like, yeah, all that blame somehow goes on Purdy, right? Purdy wasn't throwing the ball where it needed to go. It's like, well, his receivers weren't where they were supposed to be either, like, what do you want the kid to do,
Yeah,
crazy.
I want to add something really quick. Shout out to Sunil So Real. He has his own YouTube channel. He goes live with Jesse sometimes. I'm gonna read his whole tweet out because I thought this was a really I think he hit the nail on the head with this tweet that he put out yesterday. He said the thing about the Purdy narrative is even though overwhelmingly he has way more amazing games for the 49ers than bad games, the critics are quick to say he is the quarterback based on the bad games. When has it been that what you do rarely becomes more important than what you do most of the time? It's like so true. It's like most of what we've seen has been really, really nice. I mean, again, the Niners were 12-5 throughout the season, right? And one of those games he sat out, obviously. So for the most part, when he was out there, the Niners won games, and when they won those games, he was a big part of it. It wasn't like he was just I'm game manager, defense. Our defense hasn't really been dominant this year. People are assuming that, like, I see people make like, oh, well, we went to the NFC Championship game with Jimmy all these times. Well, we could always just bring Jimmy back. Who cares about Purdy? Somebody made that comment the other day. Like, dude, the defense was way more dominant those seasons than it has been now. It's like, are you even watching the damn games? These people are just lunatics. It's unbelievable how it's like, and then we see Purdy in this last game. You guys mentioned the whole rain thing. It's his Achilles heel, unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a young player. He just turned 24. Okay, so he's not the greatest quarterback in the rain. Other great NFL quarterbacks struggle in the rain too. Maybe one day down the road they'll figure it out. Maybe they'll get the right glove where it releases properly, and they'll find the right glove for him or whatever. They'll find something that works, So, and some people are like, oh, they didn't practice in the rain. They didn't practice. What I heard is that they did practice with the wet ball. I heard the announcer say before the game started. So, you can sometimes practice things and it still may not figure itself out for whatever reason. At the end of the day, he didn't have his best game. We still won. I didn't notice this during the game, but you guys and some other Niner fans did notice it. I wasn't necessarily pounding the table the whole time for the run because I didn't look at the stats of how often we were throwing. But yeah, that is pretty crazy that was the most he threw all season considering the conditions. But one thing I was taking note of was because on my pregame I had it noted that the 49ers were 10-1 in games that CMC had 75 plus yards. And so at one point I saw in the game that I was like, let me see how many yards CMC has. It was like somewhere in the mid third quarter. Like, oh, he's got 77, but damn, we're losing. That sucks. Hopefully we don't go 10-2 when he goes over 77 yards and 75 yards. And lo and behold, he ended up with 98, 2 touchdowns. And eventually when he did run, we had success. It's just that, I guess it would have made more sense. Run him. And hey, I hate to be a broken record like all other Niner fans. We have Elijah Mitchell. We got Jordan Mason. Like, you can use these guys too. They're on the roster. You're paying them, especially since we don't have Debo and we're thin in the wide receiver position. So
it should be all hands on deck right now. And somehow this is all butts on the bench. Like, I don't get it.
Let's say hi to everybody in the chat real quick.
Hi to everybody.
We got Don Dotson.
Don, what up?
49er Vito.
What up?
49ers Jive.
What up, Jive?
Jive.
E. Kim in the house.
What up, E. Kim?
Tommy Huxley.
Tommy Huxley.
We got Bebop.
Bebop.
Don't forget to check the Discord, Bebop. Let's see. Whoa. We got 49ers Throwback in the house. What up, Throwback?
This is a throwback.
You know, let's see.
Hey, do that sound effect one more time.
All right.
I tried.
It's not just a game. It's a way of life.
It's not just a thought process.
It's not just a thought process. It's a way of life.
And you got to say the name too.
Bashar.
No, my screen name.
49er minded. Bashar. 49er minded.
You make me so jealous. I don't have that effect.
It only costs you like.
Yeah. I have this badass sound processor, but it only works for XLR mics. I heard there was a way you could link it up to my USB mic.
Yeah, this isn't.
One day I'll try it.
I got this going XLR. You can. It's got to be some sort of XLR or like an Onyx, like the big Onyx jack.
I'll figure it out one day. It reminds me of It's called the Roland VT4. If you heard my old 49er song, my 49er Minded song, where I do all those deep voices, and I use that for it. And it works really, really well. It's like, but oh well, that's another topic for another day. And yeah,
$120, you can have the setup.
There you go.
Who else we gotta say hi to?
That's everybody.
49er Throwback got a comment though. You want to read it?
We got to tell them. Hello. I think another reason why the media is hating on Brock is because Kyle Shanahan gets conservative in his play calling and wasn't the best. Well, I don't know how conservative.
Well, I mean, Kyle's getting his own hate, right?
Yeah, I just think everybody was rusty, including Kyle. Unfortunately, it should have been.
Well, think about it. If you game plan all this, then like everybody hasn't been practicing those run plays. I think it's probably easier for him to install a whole bunch of pass plays on the fly than it is for him to install a whole bunch of run plays and have people essentially be efficient, unless you're going to go with like last week's stuff, which they were watching tape on all week. You know what I mean? I wonder if he just didn't feel confident at kind of throwing together a run scheme and have everybody feel confident about making those. Because if you look how we run the ball, our line does a lot of crazy stuff, and it's very meticulous. You know what I mean? Like, it's very exact. So I don't know if he just had his hands. There's been other times where he's totally done it. Don't get me wrong. There's been other times in certain situations where he didn't have this he wasn't in this situation where he's totally just like tried to play 4D chess on himself and all of a sudden stopped running the ball when all we need to do is run out the clock with the lead. And he's like, but they're giving me the pass.
Of the time.
98% of the time.
Himself.
In crucial situations.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And most of the time it's that he stops running the ball. Like, you know, if you think about, like that stat that they keep throwing around, like, when we're down, how many ever points, like he was
5 points. In the fourth
like
quarter.
0-30, whatever. And it's like, because that, I feel like we're down, if we get down to 7 points, one freaking touchdown, he abandons the run, freaks out and abandons the run right away. It's like,
Yeah.
running the ball is what we do. Running the ball sets up the pass, like opens up all that. Like, no, you're just expecting Purdy to drop back and throw 36 plus fucking times. Open backfield, like empty backfield. I mean, it's like ridiculous. Like, and then we're wondering, then we're blaming the O-line and we're blaming Purdy. And it's like, we could do a lot more to help Purdy, like everybody wants to say Purdy's so helped, has all this help around him. Yet his wide receivers are running wrong routes. His play callers calling stupid shit, like nobody's helping him around him. So,
and also when we run the ball like that, it gives our offense confidence. Whether they're passing or not, you know what I mean? Because the guys in the wide receivers, they're blocking and they're getting that confidence because they just, look at Juwan Jennings. He's blocking people into the Gatorade. Like that, and everybody's like,
yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I want to do that. And then it's like, oh, it's a pass play, huh? Oh, they're dialing it up to us. It'll probably go to him. Oh, well, but I'll be in position. I can get me another block on, knowing damn well whoever does a great job turns around and gets the ball the next play pretty much. You know what I mean? Like whoever helps the homie down the field is the next guy to get that pass. They're going to dial up so everybody's just fighting to be the best player out there. So that's how we get rolling. Bashar, your thoughts?
Yeah. And it's interesting because like we always thought of like, and Kyle pretty much is like a run heavy type of OC, right? And so it is interesting that he got away from the run. And again, I told you guys I didn't notice it as much, but I was just stressing like crazy in the game. A lot of things that were logical and make sense were just completely out the window in terms of the way my brain was trying to operate while watching that game. But I will say this: I just pulled up the stats. I was curious because how many rushing attempts did we have in this game? And I just pulled it up and said we had 24, and the Packers had 28 yards per rush. We averaged 4.6, and they averaged 4.9. Most of them were on that big run by Aaron Jones, where I'll get into later about that one. But and I worked it out. I said, how many times did the Niners run the ball this year? I was just curious. We ran the ball 499 times this year in all the 17 games, and we averaged 29 runs per game, basically. So like 23 runs is below our average. So I do get that part. We ran the ball less than we normally do run the ball. So again, hopefully Shanahan gets his head out of his ass. I wish I could have found a nicer way to say it. And I'm a big Shanahan guy, but I just hate it when people criticize him so damn much in the playoffs. But then again, he kind of puts it on himself too, and it's the same old song and dance that we've seen year after year. So it's like, Kyle, this is the year. This is your time to shine. This is you have the ultimate opportunity to make it a point that those guys no longer criticize you and now they praise you. But every now and then it's like simple little things, Kyle. Like, come on, guy, come on, let's do this. So hopefully he has it down, and hopefully we can use Mitchell from time to time. And yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Sound effects. Oh,
all right.
Sound effects?
No, I was unmuting myself.
Man, JJ made some, and I kept saying this throughout the game, like one after another. Made some big boy fucking catches. Like,
big boy.
Holy moly. Like, you talk about clutch. You talk about somebody that, Purdy can go to and rely on in those situations where we need a first down. That's Juwan Jennings. They better find a way to pay him this season, then after this season, because if we lose him, like, we're not just losing, like, like, I know everybody wanted Kendrick Bourne to stay, whatever. Like, he was a cool, third receiver, whatever. But like, we wouldn't just be missing a guy that we go to on third down. Like, yeah, you can replace that. You can get another wide receiver for that. But like, you're losing somebody with that dog mentality, somebody that, like, he's out there getting in the heads of every cornerback, that lines up opposite of him. He's out there blocking his ass off. He's out there, that catch that he went up for, like, with 3 freaking defenders around him, like,
fearless.
Wide receivers aren't fucking doing that anymore these days.
He's like, I'm going up to get mines.
Mm-hmm.
How about the way Purdy took that shot in the pocket while making that throw? And that, yeah, that was just highly. I mean, all
totally
these analysts,
average. Totally average.
Yeah, all
Totally
these analysts said shit on Purdy, go out of the way, say he's a system guy, and he doesn't make the team better. Like, did you not see that play? Like, come on.
Yeah, Purdy like making throws, like literally had at one point had a O-line, his own O-lineman literally like sitting in his lap basically because the guy, he's getting pushed like right back into Purdy, and Purdy's still standing there making a throw, like accurate, right where it needs to be. It's like
average as can be.
Yeah, imagine that when his wide receivers are where they're supposed to be, and when they actually catch the ball, what happens?
It's the Shanahan system.
Oh, real quick.
What up, Pete?
Yep, want to say what's up to Pete.
Pete, what up,
Had
bro?
to find him real quick. How are you doing? Make sure to go and check out Pete. He has a great channel too. So make sure to go and subscribe to Pete. And in the description this week, I finally have everybody else's channels in here. So make sure if you haven't to go and subscribe to these great channels. We got Miriah from 49er Pod, Faithfully Pod, and then Bashar from 49er Minded right below me. Mariah's got a show, let's see, what, Thursday-ish with TL?
Usually Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday with TL and Thursday with Steph Sanchez.
And those are great shows. I always come in at the end for some reason. I don't know why all of a sudden like I pop on. It's like, oh shit, yeah, why am I coming in the last 10 minutes? But no, great shows. Especially, Steph Sanchez, she brings a lot to the table. Make sure to check her out. She will be having like the draft talks and like
very good stuff.
Who the 49ers are talking with as far as before the draft, during the draft, all that good. Well, not during the draft, but during the draft process. She will have the spreadsheet.
Maybe she's going to the combine. Who knows? I mean,
yeah, she did last year. Oh, she is.
She is.
Oh,
okay, there you go.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's a great follow on Twitter also. So make sure to tune in Thursday. Two goats. Also, Miriah and Bashar are killing it with thumbnails. As of late. Well, you had a fire ass one last week that I saw. I was hella jealous of, and I've like always been jealous of Mariah's.
A lot of it's AI, and then I just combine things. And
Mariah's been killing it in the like low key has been one of the greats on thumbnails for a long time. I don't think she gets a lot of credit, but I've always how many times have I always said you had a great thumbnail? It's just like she takes her time. She got a good eye. She knows what she's doing.
Yours are really good too, bro.
I try, but I don't think I'm as good as you guys are right now. You guys got some cool ones popping off. So I want to get into some kind of negative talking points right here about the game. We had a lot of slippage problems.
Oh my god!
And I felt
slide.
I also wanted to put in missed tackling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there was time.
I mean, that's been a thing I feel all season.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair.
A lot of the season anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, you could say about half the games I wanted to say that about. And it could be less than that. You know what I'm just saying? I might be exaggerating because I felt like it so much. And I hold these guys accountable because I've seen them tackle very well before. Like every single one of these guys minus like 2. You know what I'm saying? Minus like 2. I know a lot of these guys can do a lot better. What's your guys' thought? Miriah, you want to go first? Okay.
The slipping drove me nuts. I tweeted out so many times, like, change your freaking cleats. Like, there should be no reason in the third quarter you're still slipping around. You went to fucking halftime and still didn't do anything about it and came out and you're still sliding around the field. And that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Yeah. The home team sliding around, brand new. They said the turf, whatever, was brand new. And then, okay, it rains. I understand that throws, but how long did you know it was going to rain for? A long time. We knew. We were planning that it was going to rain during this game. At least a good chance that it was. Like, you guys should have been fucking prepared. Like, there's no reason for that. And like I said, well into the third, fourth quarter, they're still slipping and sliding all over. Like, that's unacceptable. Like, so many plays, like, that they would break free and, either score a touchdown or get, like, a big-ass chunk of yards on. and you look, and there's just a trail of defenders like that slipped and are on the ground like behind the person. It's like, you got to be kidding me, like there was a lot of times during that game where I thought, we're going to lose this game because this defense, they can't pull their heads out of their ass. They're either slipping and missing tackles that way, or when they're actually in position, they're just don't know how to fucking tackle. They don't know how to wrap up. Like, their arms turn into spaghetti noodles. Like, I don't understand what the problem is. But shit, if you're that fucking weak, go hit the freaking gym or something, because it's fucking unacceptable. Like, I don't know what you do to fix that, but it definitely needs to be addressed this offseason. And to go along with all that, I don't know if this is one of your topics. I'll wait, because I don't know if that's one of your topics.
Oh, me? Top.
One of his topics.
Okay, I want to add to the missed tackles and all that stuff.
The next one is about the secondary, and then we're talking about the team. So
yeah, the missed tackle that rocked my world, and that told me that I was thinking, okay, when this play happened, I told myself,
made me choke, you dumbass.
I made you choke?
Yeah, saying rock my world.
I didn't think I had that effect on you, but okay. Yeah, I'll take that as a compliment. But anyway,
I think she was like, not here. Like, this is not happening.
Oh, get your mind out. I think that's why this is a family show.
No, it's not.
Let's bring the heat.
I'm watching the game, and this play happens, and I'm automatically telling myself, like, okay, we had a fun-filled highlight season. Brock Purdy put up all these great numbers, and we were like, oh, cool, we finally got a quarterback in the mix. All that to get ousted in the divisional round because we just let fucking Aaron Jones run up for 53 yards. And why did that happen? Because fucking Logan Ryan was slightly out of position and woofed on a fucking tackle that could have just, had he made the tackle, it could have just been a 5-yard run. That went from a 5-yard run to a 53-yard run.
I blame Shanahan.
Yeah, because Shanahan's like, oh, he knows the system more.
Shanahan started his dumbass over fucking Jair
Brown.
So
yeah, that's like, happened. Dude, Steve Wilkes stepped up to the plate, bro. Why did we draft this guy? Why did we draft Jair Brown then if they don't have confidence in him? Go ahead, Ryan.
It might. So I think it might just be for a game. The reason being,
it was a game that hurt us. So,
well, I think LaFleur. I think LaFleur, Jair Brown being young and showing he's kind of like Hufanga-ish and overzealous and trying to, come down and make those plays. I think LaFleur might have exposed him, and that's not something he needs. I look, this is tin foil hat. Okay, don't shoot me, or I'm just saying. I think that might have been a thing. We'll see if he comes out and how much he plays this week. Okay,
with
that'll show if I'm right or not.
Yeah, I mean, Jair Brown and Hufanga are two completely different guys, but they do have some similarities at the same time as well. And with Hufanga, it's like, even like early when he was like just starting around, I was like, okay, with him, I could take the good with the bad because I think the good outweighs the bad, and I see a lot of that in Jair Brown as well. So I would be okay with that. But what good did Logan Ryan bring us? He got worked on that one fucking play, that one touchdown. I forgot who was the guy, some tight end, and he took the stupid angle and then put his hand out and made
I'd
no
be very
difference.
Surprised to see Ryan in again this week.
Yeah, he's got all this. I get it. He's got all this experience. And he was really, really good at one point. Then he was a cornerback, and he transitioned him to safety. But I don't know. I'd love to see Jair Brown out there. I really, really would.
I think
the slips were really, really frustrating to watch. I thought, okay, it happened once. It's not going to happen again. Oh shit, it happened again. All right, that's the last I'm going to see. Did you know that 75 yards, 75 from all those slips, the Green Bay gained 75 yards off of all those slips.
And it wasn't just one player, it's like 5 different players. So it's not just like one guy didn't go change his cleats or something, and was the problem. No, there's like numerous guys, and it was only defense. I didn't see no offensive guys slipping around. So it was just a defense that are sliding everywhere.
And it seems like, what up, Sentinel? And like people were like, "Oh, it's gonna rain! It's gonna rain!" I was like, "Yeah," but they said it was gonna be a light rain. I don't care. But then it actually was a pretty heavy rain. But I was like, okay, well, both teams got to play in it. But it felt like only one team was playing in the rain. You know what I mean? It was so frustrating.
Ours are sliding
Sentinel
everywhere.
brings up a
Theirs are
great
like good.
Sentinel brings up a great point here. He says, "This I trust you, dude. Attitude Kyle has is so tunnel vision that he thought putting old ass Logan Ryan out there was as rational as a rational guy was a good idea. Rotational, sorry.
Well, he wasn't even a rotational guy. He was the guy there for the whole game. I mean, I barely even saw J.R. Brown.
And that's exactly
So,
what it is. Kyle always
his next
trusting his
comment,
older guys instead of the rookies. You know, you don't want to ever trust no young guys to do anything.
so this next question, I'm sure we all know what to talk about here, but I just kind of put it a different way. Ambry or Oliver? Now you can you could say, you know, go with somebody else. That's fine. I'm just saying right now, one of these guys is probably going to see the field. And which one do you want to see the field?
I'm Ambry all the way. Just I know he didn't have his best game, but he was coming off the broken hand and the rest and whatever. But I'd much rather have Ambry out there. I've seen a lot more good than bad from him.
I'm with you on that. I do think the broken hand and all that has a play in there. Now, my only thoughts here are if you go with Charvarius and Diamador outside, meaning the other dumbass, Oliver going to be in the slot, he doesn't play every down. So, meaning Diamador, Lenore, and Charvarius will be on the field down in and down out on the defense, right, as your outside corners. So they're locking up the two, number 1 and number 2. The only time we have to worry about Oliver coming in is when we pull him in and we go into that defense that he needs to play in the slot. Where Ambry, you're having to deal with him every down. So I don't know. I'm with you to just trust Ambry again, but at the same time, like if he ends up killing us again, then what? Like, don't let him go the whole fucking game if you see he's being burnt. Pull him and switch up. I was surprised they kept Ambry in the game all that time and just let him keep getting burnt. Because like you said, the whole, they didn't play Jair Brown because, McFleur is going to target him. Well, the same could be said for Ambry. Once you see that he's getting beat and he's getting PI, I'm fucking targeting him every single throw. Every single throw, I'm going at Ambry. If you're smart. If LaFleur is some fucking genius and you think that comes into play, I'm going at Ambry every throw because the way that he was playing, why wouldn't you? He's giving up so many yards either because he's getting beat or because he's giving PI. So why would you not target him every single throw?
It depends on if you think it's easier to get big plays over the top than it is kind of
Ryan, I'm not literally asking, and I'm not saying they're going to target him 100% of the time, but I'm just saying somebody smart would target him a lot if he's giving up all that shit.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Which I think they definitely did.
I'm okay with starting Ambry this game on the outside, but if you see that it's becoming a problem, he gets a freaking PI right at the beginning of the fucking game, pull his fucking ass. Like, don't go through that and make us lose this game because he's playing like a dumbass.
Like we did with Witherspoon?
Yeah.
Remember Witherspoon back in the day? I think it was the championship game.
It was a divisional game against the Vikings.
It was a divisional game. He did two bonehead ass plays, and he got benched and sent to special teams. And I can't remember who was his backup? Was it
they had
K1?
Mosley come in. They had
Mosley.
Emmanuel Mosley took over.
And he never gave it back.
Never.
I wish we still had Mosley.
Like, I want Ambry to be good, but like shit. Like he just like panics. Like even when he's like in good position, like he's like looking at the ball, everything's good, and then at the last second he just like panics. Like
He misjudged the PI.
yeah, like I don't understand.
He misjudged the ball in the PI play. Yeah.
Well, Sentinel on here, he's asking where's the DB guru heard so much about when he came out of the box. Did he leave the talent back up there? But who knows?
I'm not blaming him
Maybe
for
the reason
Ambry's fucking dumbness.
also, but Ambry's talent, and like not talent, but maybe Ambry's success is due in some in part to Steve Wilkes being here, and maybe like unlocking some things for him.
A lot better with Wilkes.
I do. I'm not.
So I don't agree with that at all.
I'm down with what Miriah said. I'm not gonna ride till the bitter end with Ambry, but I definitely will give him his fair shake. You know what I mean? Like he's been injured, this and that. If he in this week goes, hey, I messed up this last game. I need to really figure out myself. He did some good soul searching, and he comes back. And yeah, why should we just bench him for that? If we weren't going to bench him through the game, why should we bench him essentially after the game? So let's see what he's got. Maybe he comes out and has a hell of a game. We saw Diamador Lenore, man, 3 straight plays.
Ooh.
Unleashed the beast. I know Miriah was excited jumping out of her seat. That boy good. He had like a run stuff. He had like, I was watching Johnny Dells, and this wasn't one of the plays I'm talking about, but he came up and filled the gap, and he came for blood. He's not scared to get in between tackles and offensive linemen. He's trying to make his presence known, and I appreciate that so much. You know what I mean?
Hit just like that hit that he had in Swift in the Philly game, where like, oh my God, and he times it perfectly, you know, and like he hits them, and just like those are those hits where you just like feel their freaking soul leave their body. Like we got to have a guy like that on our defense. Like you need that, you know, like what him and Dre Greenlaw bring to the defense, and what Juwan Jennings brings to the offense, it all in that same regards. Like they're that, you know, like I'm going to talk shit, and I'm not just going to talk shit, but I'm going to bring it too. I'm going to thump your ass. You're going to feel me play in and play out. And like, you need that physical, you know, those guys that have that physicality in them. Like, I love that. I love the energy they bring. I love the physicality they play with. And that's shit. Like, you can't teach that. You can't teach a guy to, oh, you got to hit this guy hard right here and take his soul away. Like that's, you know, like either you have that or you don't have it.
That's why I want Jair Brown out there. He's a hitter.
So that moment you were describing, that moment, like, you know, perfectly timed with that hard hit. So there on defense, there is a moment when you are tracking that person and you see what's going on. And it might be when your feet are off the ground. It might be when your feet about to leave the ground, but you know, it's all lined up perfectly. And at that moment, a smile comes across your face because you know it's that moment before it's that moment, because it's math. You know what I'm saying? The timing is adding up. The trajectory is going to be here. You're putting yourself like, oh, it's awesome. And to know those guys are out there and he's out there getting to enjoy himself like that, because you know he's having a blast just rocking these guys. He's out there, you know, doing this, but in his head he's like, I want to give a shout out to Joe E.
Hey Joe
E in the house.
Yeah, he's talking about the D-line.
Stopping in.
He's talking about the D-line. I want to see Chase Young earn a fucking paycheck. Bosa's been getting some pressures, but yeah, Hargrave,
I want to see them all
these guys
earn their paycheck. Would be nice.
Jeez, man, it's been killing.
Show up.
Well, let's just go into the next topic then. It's the Lions D and how you would attack it. Sorry, I guess. Hold on, I guess we could go into the offense, I guess, if you want to talk about that, but
or just hit on both, whatever you want to talk
James
about.
Journal's in the house.
we're gonna start with the defense. The Lions defense. How do you attack that with our offense?
How do you attack that?
I see them make boneheaded plays sometimes where they're out of they're out of position, or like they see something weird and but for the most time they stay like really good in their scheme, but they're not like impenetrable. Is there anything
I'm
you
doing
think
our
keys to
thing. Like,
success?
I'm not doing anything freaking different. Like, I just want to play 49ers football. Run the fucking ball, open up the pass, play action, whatever you do, and do it. Like, this isn't one of the scary. I'm not scared of this defense, to say the least. Like, this isn't one of the scary defenses of the league where I think we got to start planning something special against them. Like, if this last game that we just played, their defense sucked against the run. You didn't run the ball. So if you didn't take advantage of that, I'm not expecting him to do anything out of the ordinary to take advantage of this defense. I'm expecting him to do what he does. We'll find out, obviously, this week if Debo's playing or not. That changes the game plan a huge part. But I don't think the game plan is going to be anything special based on their defense. I think we're going to play 49ers football.
And whether or not Debo's there, I want to see Ayuk do what he's been doing all year long. And we didn't get much of Ayuk in this last game. It kind of disappointed me.
Mm-mm.
I know some of Purdy's throws were off. Totally get that. Same with him getting Kittle involved as well. We could have did a bit better job, and Kittle did drop a big one. I get that as well. So definitely whether Debo is going to be there or not, definitely get those two involved, because they've been involved all year long. They've been a heavy integral part of our offense. And I was just pulling up to see what the Buccaneers were doing. I watched a lot of that. Watched about 70% of the game, and it was a bit of a back and forth seesaw type game. Now we don't have a Mike Evans on our squad, but Mike Evans did put up 147 yards on that team, and we got to spread the ball around, like I was mentioning, with Kittle and Ayuk and a few others. And I am noticing though that the Bucs did have their way running the ball. I mean, like Rashad White averaged 6.1 a carry. Chase Edmonds averaged 4.8. Even Baker ran a little bit on them too.
And besides Gardner Johnson, I mean, it don't seem like their back end is that great, So
yeah, did you see him talk all that shit about Debo?
Yeah,
he was talking hella shit. Hopefully Debo plays too.
Do either you get the feeling that the Lions defense has been kind of headhunting, or like going out of their way to try and like maybe harm people, or head-to-head contact? Something Ted brought up, and everything he said, I remembered most of it. And I'm like, yeah, that is kind of right. It seems like they are kind of targeting certain players. Is that anything you saw? Not necessarily. I think it's concerted effort, or like they're trying to, certain ones they're trying to, it's just like sometimes they're a little over aggressive and they're like, maybe I can get away with this, and they go a little high.
I won't say it's anything I noticed, and I'm not going to speak especially on something like that when I haven't.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't noticed it really.
Yeah, no, totally, perfectly fair. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want you to be like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying, when you can't, because I don't know, somebody thought they went low on what's that tight end of the Rams? They blew out his ACL. Higbee, and then there was a Puka Nacua was getting hit to the head, and I noticed that there was a couple times in that game when I was watching, I was like, man, that's a little, why are we calling this? You know what I mean? Because we're not trying to play like that anymore, right? We're trying to be safe. So why is this okay? It shouldn't be okay in the playoffs. Were we getting hits to the head in the playoffs? Like when Mahomes, why did Mahomes get his helmet busted and then doesn't have to go into the tent?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? No.
But
we got rules are rules.
Is that when Debo had to leave this last game and go to the tent the first time for the concussion check, Shanahan said it is because a spotter seen that he hit his head during the last play and called down and made them take Debo off the field and go get checked for a concussion.
Yep.
But
Which I didn't.
Mahomes hits his head with another head, busts his fucking helmet. No spotter, no tent, no check, no nothing.
Did you think Debo needed to go to the 10 after that? Not saying any conspiracies, but I don't remember going, ooh.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't mention.
Supposedly that's when he hurt his shoulder too. So that's what Shanahan said. So I mean, it didn't look like it was anything too terrible, like where I'm like, oh no, like I don't know.
Yeah, that's because normally I'm like, I'll like when I'm watching the games, I'll be like, he's gonna go to the 10.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you could tell what they're looking for, and as football fans, you should know if you watch football for 10 years or so, you should know exactly what they're talking about and exactly what they're looking for. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I didn't see that, but I don't know. Sometimes we gotta give a shout out to James Dernall in the house.
Oh, James.
His applause. What up, James? Appreciate you stopping in, sir. So Bashar, what are your thoughts about attacking the defense? Did you kind of already spit that, or you got something else that you want to do?
I don't have anything new to add to it. I'm just
right.
worried about Hutchinson. No, that's why I mentioned Hutchinson, and the guy is playing the way Bosa plays when Bosa's on fire, and the way Bosa should be playing all the time. And not that Bosa played terrible, but we saw what Bosa did last year, how incredible he was, and I know we rarely get that Bosa this year, and we really need it bad. And again, but Hutchinson's playing at a great level, and I am worried about him. So
don't put money on Kittle this game.
I thought he was going to sit back to block the last game, and he didn't. They had him running routes the whole time. I didn't see Kittle blocking.
I think they had to have him block routes. Debo was out. So if Debo's there, I see Kittle blocking a lot because that'll help protect that left side or that right side.
Sometimes when he blocks, so it's not like he's blocking the whole game. It'll be like on 3 or 4, maybe 5 plays tops or whatever. And as long as it's effective and it works, I'm okay with it.
We're talking about on like third downs, and it's like they'll be doing like the certain kind of thing where they jam, they slow things down. Kittle can kind of stop, jam him up, and kind of put him in McKivitz's hands. By walling him off, then McKivitz has time to kind of get his hands exactly where he needs, and Kittle can go run his route. Now McKivitz can push him wherever he wants. He's got enough contact on him. That's why defensive linemen, they don't want any hands on them, because offensive linemen, once you get, it's like cupping boobs. You got to find the thing. You got to cup their boobs, and that's once you're locked on. Well, it's the only way I can really. It's the only way I can explain it.
Well,
you
just
sense, get right on. Yeah, you cup their boobs, and that's once you do that, you're able to lock onto them and push them around. So that's why they just. Yeah, that's why they do that. They pass it off. I don't see running back, or I don't see our running backs being able to do that much. You might see a lot of double tight end sets where, what's his name, Charlie Warner do some blocking on Hutchinson, do same thing while you got Kittle free on the other side. All I'm saying is that you're certain moments in key third downs, you're not going to have Charlie Warner there. Kittle's going to have to do the dirty work.
I'm with that. I'd much rather keep Kittle in there and help block than have fucking Purdy getting blown up every single play. Do what you got to do.
Yeah, right. A lot of people aren't mentioning that. They think, "Oh, Purdy had a bad game. Purdy had a game." He was out there getting smashed a few times here and there. It's not like he had just this immaculate clean pocket and he's just misfiring all day long.
Definitely not.
Like, people don't look at the whole scenario sometimes. It's so funny.
And Shanahan went with starting Feliciano, which another thing. Okay, I'm going to go with the old guy instead of our young guy, which I'm fine with. He's been great. And on that CMC touchdown, he had a huge block to open up that touchdown lane for CMC. You know, so he's been great with the run. Like, I'm all for that. But man, the O-line, they had a rough day. Like, you know, I didn't go back and look to see, you know, who it was on, but in general, as a whole, like, they work together. So I'm just gonna blame the whole fucking unit. They had a rough day. And I don't think this week, like, it's not gonna get any easier. So definitely do what you got to do to help out, because man, we can't have, like, Purdy don't need to be on his ass every single fucking play.
Nope. Which helps when you with that goes all the way back to running the ball, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So let's run it 29 times like we have been all year on average. So
I feel that we need to stop clicking on some of this stuff in the media, because I think that's the stuff we hate to hear. I think it's exactly a product of our clicking. Like, especially like on YouTube, the 49ers community is the biggest NFL community on here. So if somebody wants to make NFL content, you want to get a lot of views, one of the great things to do is to set us off. You know what I mean?
I don't watch.
So I think we should.
So.
Yeah, I'm just
you don't watch what, Miriah?
I don't watch no videos. I don't click on none of that fucking click, you know, this the clickbaity shit. Like, that ain't drawing me in to click on your video. Like, I ain't watching it.
Yeah, there was one I saw yesterday, and
I
don't know if I should talk about it or not.
I think it would be funny as if we took these people's face and like quote tweeted, no, not quote tweeted, but like quoted something as dumb as they say about Brock Purdy, but different. You know what I mean? And something that sounds just as ridiculous, and just put that out there, and then just tweet it, and then make sure everybody in the community knows, hey, we're going to retweet this and get this going, because it's just as idiotic as the shit that's coming out of their mouth. And maybe they might stop.
You could be the one that spearhead that movement, Ryan. Go right ahead.
Hey, let's get everybody in the chat. You do. Hey, tell people on your shows. Get it going. This is I can't do that myself.
Before we move off the Lions defense, Bebop Aroni had said Lions linebackers are low key shit.
Yeah, I saw that too. I thought that was funny.
So somebody described them. Somebody described them as coming downhill, and when I heard that, I thought, so you're saying we'll be able to put them over a barrel with our passing game? Because if your linebackers are going to come downhill, well, watch all this run game we got for you, baby. You know what I mean? And guess what? Kittle and Brandon Ayuk and Debo, if he's there, are going to be slipping in right behind you, going for 30. You know what I mean? So good luck. If that's true, Kyle's like, oh, this is the best.
I hope
best a man can get.
Like, let's see this genius Kyle. Like, take advantage of the spots that you need to.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking about the players leaving it all out there on the field. Like, our coach needs to leave it all out there on the field too.
That Ravens defense is for real, yes. But so is that Texans defense. If their offense could have done a little something, that game would have gone down to the frickin' wire. I'm telling you, that defense was keyed up and ready to play. They didn't really start breaking down till they've already played a half of a game worth in the first quarter. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to have even time. Jesus. So I want to talk about the keys to success for stopping the Lions offense. They've got some talented receivers. They got some running backs to be wary of. What's your thoughts on how to stop these mofos?
Stop the fucking run. By all means, stop the run. Like, can this defense stop the run? I feel like I could run 100 yards on them, and I can't even barely run a freaking centimeter. So, like, please stop the run. Their running backs are crazy good. We know this quarterback. If we know anybody on that team, we know Goff. Put the ball in Goff's hands. Obviously, we know they have great wide receivers too. I'm not taking anything away from them. Great weapons all around on this team. Great tight end, great wide receivers, great running backs. But force Jared Goff to beat you. Stop the fucking run. That's what I'm doing.
Sam Laporta is a really
Yeah.
nice tight end.
Their O-line is fantastic. One of the best O-lines in the league.
Because they fucking drafted for O-line, unlike we do.
Been shit. So what are we expecting them to do about this against this good O-line? That's one of the things I'm worried about in this game. But they better figure it out. Bring everybody that you can at freaking Goff when you need to, because you know he's going to get flustered and he'll throw picks.
Yeah. Can we use some blitz packages from every now and then? I mean, it seems like I don't recall doing that against Green Bay. I really don't. I think that would be nice. Why not throw a couple of blitz packages here and there? Laporta is somebody you do have to worry about, but we do have Fred Warner in that regard, and their running back is really nice. He's more of a breakaway type running back that gets big chunk type plays rather than more of a consistent type running back who gets you consistent chunks. He'll get the big huge run, and that's Jameer Gibbs.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't give up 100-yard rusher. I mean, all season up until this Aaron Jones crap, and again, just please put Jair Brown out there. I don't trust Logan Ryan with the way he. What's that?
Multiple seasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just
50 games? 50 games without a 100-yard rusher.
Make them one-dimensional, and like you said, and Goff historically hasn't been that great against us. I know he's on a completely different team now, and he's got some weapons. I mean, we get that, but he's still Goff, and he might still have some stuff lingering in his head about the past meetings with us. And when he was on the Lions, Greenlaw did pick him off, so that might be seeing Greenlaw out there might mess him up, but who knows? I mean, we just had to play 49er football, and for a good portion of that game, the last game we didn't play 49er football. Definitely didn't play 49er defense for the majority of the game.
Yeah. Like Goff, he's been a lot better there in Detroit, but I feel like, if he's still, and he hasn't been turning the ball over as much either, but he's still Goff. You still know if you pressure him, you get in his head, you make him, like he's not that type of quarterback. And plus, he's not like Lamar and these guys that can get out and run either, so that's what I'm saying. Like our D-line needs to be able to get home, put some pressure on him and cause him to make mistakes.
Yeah. And it'd be nice to see the real Armstead. I know Armstead. Oh, go ahead.
Want to give a shout out to Randon McMahon.
What's up, Randon?
We used to do some shows back in the day. He's a 49ers fan, but he also does a lot of work with a hockey royalty channel. It's called Hockey Royalty. It's a Kings hockey channel. So make sure to go check him out if you are interested on following with the Kings. So check him out. Appreciate you stopping in, sir.
Yeah, I was good. I forgot to mention that having Armstead back was a bit lackluster, not what we were expecting, but maybe he had some rust to shake off too. So hopefully he's back to the real Armstead, which helps us a whole lot in the run game.
I hope they're supporting themselves with some fucking WD-40 then, because I'm not going with rust as another fucking excuse.
I know. I'm trying to make sense out of this. I mean, we can only make some excuses. If we lose, and we're out.
I got something for you guys. You want to bring the heat? You want to bring the heat to these guys? Let's go 5-2. Let's put 5 down linemen there, and let's get after them. Let's stop them in the run, and let's have another, maybe 5-2 on first and second down, and then we'll go back to our 4-3 on third down, something like that. I just want to control the line of scrimmage on these guys. Their center's injured. He's going to play. Like, I wouldn't expect him to sit out this game at all. He's a center in the NFL. Yeah. they'd have to amputate his leg and he's still trying to figure out how to do it with a peg. You know what I mean? These guys are built like that. I think I heard something about the guard being out. I'm not sure if that's true, but I don't think that moves the needle either. These guys got backups, and even if the backups aren't necessarily good for a backup, they're going to be playing against next to great players, and the drop off will be almost non-noticeable pretty much. When you got a group of guys like that, they can hold a guy and help a guy out. So we got a lot of things, and I think we need to get after them. So yeah.
And special
Get
teams.
after that
Don,
ass.
great shot. Don says, please don't forget to like and subscribe to all 3 channels if you haven't
Thank you, Don.
already. Yes, please. There are links in the description for both other channels, and you're on this one. So yeah.
I just want to say,
Appreciate
let's not forget the third phase and special teams. We can't have them kickoff returners running wild on us like they did in that one play.
No.
Yeah. I mean, George Odom came back, right? He was an all-pro special teamer in 2000, and he was really hyped to come back. And I'm not trying to knock him. I just didn't see an impact from him. But hopefully we do. Yeah, again, Rust again. WD-40 time.
Mariah doesn't like
Why do all these motherfuckers run crazy on us in the return game? And then when our guy's back there to return, it's like
fair catch.
Or it's
But yeah, it's like they run, oh look, he's running, and it's like a 3-yard return.
like I don't understand. And this has been a thing for years and years and years and years. We can't get a returner worth of shit. Like, why?
Supposedly McLeod was really good before we had him. But
Do we?
It's like, these other teams are starting at the 40-yard line, and we start at the 15.
Do we even call these fancy plays where the one side will move over to the other and we create I don't see us calling these. I see us calling vanilla ass plays every single time. I think our biggest splash was put Debo back there because Debo can see the field.
And it kind of worked, right? When we did it, but
it kind of
he's hurt.
But I think we kind of need something more than vanilla. You know?
We all blame the last special teams coach, and yet we replaced him, and nothing's gotten better.
Nothing's changed. I think Kyle's got his finger on the button. You know what I mean? Like look at Wishnowski,
special teams coach.
Wishnowski ran for the first down because Kyle's never
better.
Do you see that? Kyle's like, I've never called this before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like,
you've
fuck
never.
you, I'm doing myself.
I'm glad he called that. I wish he'd do it more.
I know. Please, like shit. If they're not going to call the right shit, do what
he's
you gotta
capable
do.
of running. I mean,
he's the only bright spot. Like I feel like on special teams. Lately.
Yeah, the punt team, team, basically. Yeah,
they
do a great job.
Yeah.
Well, the whole punt team really do a great job for the most part. You know what I mean? Because they're the ones that freeze the ball down there and make it so teams are cramped and backed up. So I think the whole team really does great. They've given up a couple of weird, but that's kind of going to happen at times. You know what I mean? Like you can't bat 1,000, but they do a great job. But yeah, the kickoffs, man, we just gotta put it out the end zone. Let's just put it out the end zone, not deal with anything. And if we're gonna fair catch, okay, let's fair catch all the time. If not, let's start going for it. The way I see it is if we're a good enough team, we don't have to worry about getting it on the 15 versus the 25. If we can break one for a touchdown, because a first down is only 10 yards away, no matter what part of the field you are on, except if you're less than freaking 10 yards from the end zone, right? So all you got to do is just get another 10 yards. And if you just run the ball, Miriah, would you explain 49ers football as something like run, play action? Kind of like just lull you into the
maybe
run.
not 50 runs in a row, but maybe run, play action, run. Yeah.
Right. But just kind of like emphasis on the
49ers
run,
football
lull you
is
to sleep with the run.
mhm,
Then you
like
look up and we're
hard-hitting,
passing. Yeah.
aggressive, run the ball down your fucking throat. That's 49ers football. Hard-hitting. We're going to wear you out. We're going to steal your fucking lunch money. We're going to throw your shoes over the telephone line. That's 49ers football.
Real quick before we get out of here, do you think Wilkes will shadow Amon-Ra with Ward?
I sure the hell hope so, because Ambry Thomas can't freaking guard him.
I'd be okay if Demo tried to guard him from time to time. It wouldn't hurt, but we'll see what they do.
Ooh, that might be nasty. Because Demo has been on one, and you put him on St. Ra, and that might be a show. And not to say that Travarius Ward couldn't, but Demo is a little demon out there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but
he's
I doubt they have
spitefully doing this
Demo
stuff.
shadow somebody for the first time in the NFC Championship game.
That's a
And
good
it
call.
being one of the best wide receivers in the league.
That's a good call.
I don't know how smart that is.
All right. Well, how about everybody let everybody know what you got going on the rest of the week? Miriah, let's start with you.
I don't know for sure when with TL yet, but probably tomorrow sometime, usually around 2-3 Pacific time. But I do know for sure Thursday at 3 Pacific time, I will be live with Steph Sanchez for the Two Goat Show. So yeah, you can find me there. Appreciate you all.
And before I talked about the upcoming shows, this is the first time we're doing a show together. Since that we're all aware of that we lost one of our own, in terms of frequent YouTube chatter that was supportive of the 49er content creator channels, and just I did a lot of soul searching over the past few days. I've been on an emotional roller coaster, and I finally knocked some streams out of the way as part of my therapy, and Laura was a great friend of mine, and we had a lot of great times, and it's sad that she's gone, and she was a friend of a lot of us, a lot of the content creators out there, and a lot of the chatters as well. I knew her in real life. I just didn't know. I didn't know about her passing until some people on Twitter found out. Miriah found out before I did, actually, and yeah, it's just terrible. It's sad, and we lose people, and we don't expect to lose them. And I'm just saying, is just pray for her and as much as you can, and hopefully she's up there in heaven. And we miss her dearly. And shout out to again my regards go out to Corey Davis too, because we lost Corey Davis late last year as well. So just two great Niner Empire supporters and of our chats, and it just sucks losing people like that. We don't expect them. I mean, when you lose people, you think that they're going to be like 80 years old or late 70s, not when they're a bit younger, and it just sucks. So but as far as my channel,
real quick on that, it's crazy because I had just talked to her on Christmas, never, and like you said, you never know, like never once would I ever have had it cross my mind that that's going to be the last time I talk to her, like 10 days, not even 10 days later, like she's not there with us anymore, like, and like, this is somebody, like you said, like we talk to all the time. Like at least once a week, I was talking to her, and the day before, which I found out after our show last week, so last Tuesday, and it was crazy because I had messaged her the day before telling her that I was sending her giveaways out, and later that night, I was thinking, I was like, and I messaged a whole bunch of people, like I was doing everybody's giveaways, so I probably sent out like 30 messages, right? But it, like, for some reason, like clicked in my head, like Laura didn't message me back, and I was thinking, I'm like, that's weird, because it was so unlike her. Like, I'm not expecting all 30 people to message me back, but I was expecting her to message me back because that's what she did, so And, you know, like I started thinking, I'm like, she didn't message me back. I'm like, she wasn't, you know, on our show this, you know, that day either, you know? So I'm like, the next day, and I'm like thinking, I'm like, this is so weird. And then I just so happened to get on Twitter that night after our show. And, you know, that's when I found out. And I'm just like, you know, like it's so weird because she had been in my thoughts, you know, like almost every day that week, thinking like, where is she? Where's she been? You know, like all this. And never even once did it cross my mind. Like I'm just thinking, oh, she got busy, real life, shit's happening, you know, whatever. Never once would it ever cross my mind that she's not here with us anymore. So
Yeah.
definitely check on your people.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, make sure you tell people what you need to tell them, because there might not be a next time to tell them.
Very,
So
very true.
definitely, you know, make sure you tell the people that you love them, that you love them. And yeah, everybody take care of yourselves.
Yeah, and just yeah, thank you, Miriah. That was really good, and thanks for everybody who gave them, you know, gave his salutations to her, and you know, yeah, it's just I'm at a loss for words for what happened. Really, it's just terrible, and a lot of us don't even know exactly how it happened, but
Yeah,
we definitely know she's gone for sure, which sucks. But back to my channel, I did get back to streaming, and I'm going to be streaming again on Friday with Ted at 3. We were supposed to do it last week, but you know, I was still fresh off of what happened, and I got busy, and it didn't work out that day. But I'm definitely going to go on with them again on 3:00 on Friday. Later, going to go on with Raj on Friday as well. So should be going on with Aaron sometime on Saturday. Aaron for 49 First Takes at Saturday, possibly like at 3:00 Pacific time. So. And I try to knock some post game shows out. Did a post game show out last game right after the game, so might be doing that as well. So hopefully we win. And yeah, just a lot of positives. It sucks that we have to deal with a lot of sad things, but at the same time, hopefully these Niners will win it for our fallen soldiers, and we'll just have a great season. And it'll be bittersweet, but maybe we triumph at the end. So
Yeah, we miss you, Laura. We love you. Yeah. I'll be on with Joe Stevens tomorrow, probably. Miss you, Corey. Miss you, Laura. With that, let's go get this freaking win for them. This is a quest for Corey and Laura.
Yep.
Let's get this win, and let's get a win after this, hopefully. So let's go.
Let's go.
We out.
Make it to the Super Bowl. We
Appreciate y'all in the chat. You're amazing.
Go Niners.
Don't forget,
Beat
check
the
the link.